Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of Whip It Like Butter. It's your girl Ashley, and today we're making a caramel pound cake, y'all, and we're making this with a homemade caramel sauce. Let me know in the comments, do y'all say caramel or do y'all say caramel? Because I say caramel, some people say caramel. I think it's caramel, but it depends on who you are and where you're from. So we topped this with some nice pecans just to give it some nice decor, and y'all, it's a really amazing cake. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. So I'll show you how it's done. Let's go. All right, so here we are adding our room temperature butter right here into this bowl. And then we're also going to add some shortening as well. We like the butter and the shortening mixture just, for some added moisture. The shortening really gives that extra boost of moisture. Okay, and after we have those blended together, we're going to go ahead and add our sugars nice and slow. So we're starting out with our granulated sugar. And then we're going to follow up by adding our light brown sugar. Now, I want to keep the flavor like nice and balanced for this cake, so I use light. To me, dark brown sugar is a little richer, and we're already adding a caramel icing. It's really up to you. You can use light or dark. Dark is used for the icing. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but yeah. All right, so we're gonna get that all nice and blended for about 2 minutes, and then it should look about like this. And we're going ahead and scraping down our paddle, and we're gonna scrape down the sides of our bowl because yeah, when you put the brown sugar in there, it gets pretty thick. Y'all see it's pretty thick. Okay, so we're gonna add the vanilla extract or vanilla flavoring, however you term it, right into our bowl. And then we're gonna add our eggs, our room temperature eggs, one at a time. And we're adding 5 into the bowl. All right, we're gonna add them one at a time, of course, mixing well after each addition before adding another egg into the bowl. And then we're gonna scrape down the sides of our bowl, okay, again, before we add our flour. So we started out by adding our flour, and we're going to add that to the batter just until it's combined. All right. And then we're going to follow up with our room temperature buttermilk. So y'all know if you been following me for a minute, but if you don't know for your or if you are a beginner, you want to start with your flour, you want to end with your flour, and you want to add the ingredients and mix just until it's incorporated into the batter before adding your next ingredient. If you're a beginner, you might want to stop the mixer while you're preparing the next ingredient, just depending on how your setup is. Always great, of course, to have everything prepped and ready to go as you go so you're not having to pour and measure ingredients as you go. But I understand, if you don't want those extra dishes. All right, so we're gonna go in here and we're gonna finish our stirring process with our spoon. Y'all know I always just leave a little bit unmixed so I don't overmix my batter for the end. And we're gonna spray the hell out that bump pen, yeah, like so. All right, because what I always say, we don't do no sticking over here, baby. Yeah, it didn't happen this time, but I'm gonna show y'all in a minute, and we're gonna talk about why. All right, so we're gonna lay that batter in that pan. We're gonna smooth the top of our batter, and we're gonna bake this in the oven for about an hour and 15 minutes. Okay, and then we're gonna make our icing. Now, what I've been doing is putting a pan of water in the bottom of my stove because, like I told y'all before, since I moved over here, it seemed like my cakes are a little drier. And yeah, I think I added too much water and it was too much moisture, and I had a little bit sticking. But y'all, we're gonna put that icing on there, and it's gonna be all right. So I'm going to remember that for next time. I'll figure it out. All right, so here we're starting off with our icing. So like I told you, I'm using dark brown sugar, putting that right here into the pan. All right, measurements and everything will be included in the description box. I'm going to add that butter, unsalted, y'all. I always use unsalted. And then we're adding a whole can of condensed milk. Yes, we like sugar. And y'all, this cake, I'm not gonna lie to you, it's sweet, but it's more rich than sweet. You just have to taste it to really understand what I'm talking about. Brown sugar is not terribly sweet. Condensed milk is, of course, but to me, it just really adds a richness. If you're not used to consuming sugar, of course, it's gonna be a little bit sweeter to you, but it's not just terribly sweet. All right, so we add a little salt to balance out sweetness and give it kind of like a little salted caramel flavor. Y'all, this cake is amazing. Okay, and then we add our vanilla last. I already had to turn off the heat because you want to add your vanilla last because, vanilla will cook out of your dish. Most of the alcohol's in it. Give that a nice stir. Let that sit for a minute. Really only needed a minute because yeah, this caramel started to really thicken as it sat. So I went ahead and poured that into the measuring measuring cup, y'all. If you want your if you want your caramel a little bit thinner, then add a little bit more butter. All right, we're gonna lay that right there on this cake. Putting that in the measuring cup really made it nice and easy. And you just keep turning and spread or however you need to do it until you get your icing the way you like it on your cake. Okay. And then you want to allow the icing to set on the cake before you serve it because it needs some time to harden a little bit. And so I just want to be cute. There's no rhyme or reason for the pecan. I just want to be cute. So I just top the cake with some chopped pecans, and I always have like stuff like that in the cabinet, and definitely needs to be used. I haven't used it for another recipe yet. So yeah, let's go ahead and put it on top of this cake, and then we're gonna go ahead and let it set. And yeah, of course I'm gonna cut into this cake for y'all so y'all can see how it came out just all nice and perfect in the middle. You know, you can't even tell like it stuck a little bit. That's the great thing about icing. And if you ever do have a cake and it sticks and you have a little bit, you know, messed up on top, don't throw that cake away. There is nothing wrong with that cake. Of course, if it's like you're making it an order for somebody, a business type thing, of course you don't want to do that. That's what you and the customer agreed to. But yeah, throw some icing on there. Can't even tell. And look at that cut. Let's get ready for this taste test. Y'all know that's my favorite part. Let's go. Baby, y'all ready for this taste test? That cake, the cut. I'm ready. That icing. I'm gonna close my eyes. That cake is super moist. Super duper moist. That icing is everything. It's nice and thick. I like how it sticks well to the cake. Oh, and I'm really tasting those flavors. Almost like, almost like toffee. Definitely good. So I definitely want you to try this cake and let me know what you think. So as always, don't forget to share. Don't be stingy. Make sure you share, like, subscribe if you haven't already, and join us back for more over here with a light butter. Bye. Need some more. I had to taste just the cake. That thing is amazing.